I do want to get into that as well because how ironic you get killed by Steve Buscemi, and then you end up, working with him on Boardwalk Empire.
And he killed me again.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's crazy.
Of being killed by Buscemi twice.
Yeah. What was it like?
That too. We mentioned that when I started on Boardwalk.
Yeah.
When I started on Boardwalk, Steve comes up and he goes, "All right, no reprisals for me whacking you on Sopranos. It's truce." I'm like, "You're asking me for it? Of course, you're the star of Boardwalk. I ain't killing you, that's for sure. Just please don't kill me again." So we shook on it.
Yeah.
And he killed me again. Afterwards, I was like, "What happened, man?" He goes, "Hey, talk to Terry Winter. It wasn't my thing."
Yeah, because Steve had directed a episode. He had directed an episode of Sopranos before he had done. Was it Pine Barrens? I think.
Pine Barrens, one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah.
Which Terry Winter wrote.
Yeah.
Episode, yeah.
And then he ended up, getting a season cast in Sopranos, and obviously you guys worked in Boardwalk Empire. What was it like working with Steve on both shows?
Well, on Sopranos, I didn't have much with him, except for that one scene where he shot me. But again, not much interaction. But we stayed friends over the years and stuff, and I knew him there. But working with him, having a chance to work with him on a higher level on Boardwalk was a dream come true. He's one of the best actors around, and I just remember preparing for my scene with him. And I was working with a friend of mine. We were going over the lines and just rehearsing. I just wanted to nail it. So I'm like, I'm going in the ring against like Muhammad Ali, man. It's like you got to bring your A game. And not only that, if you bring your A game, he'll make you even better because he's that giving and that generous of an actor. And he really, yeah, man, I got to say, he really helped. He was so there with me. And, I had a lot of lines and a lot of dialogue, and he was even on his off-camera stuff, which some actors, they couldn't care about that. They're just, they're preoccupied on my close-up. He was right there behind the camera, just as in it as he would have been on his if the camera was on him. So I got to thank him, and he was really, and I learned a lot just watching him work too. I learned a lot from him, and just experience. It really was.
Yeah, what's so amazing with Steve is that he's so multidimensional. He's the funniest guy. You see him in like Big Daddy and Mr. Deeds and Grown Ups and Airheads, and then to see him in a dramatic role when he gets serious. And again, like, seeing that in Sopranos season 5 and how he is as Nucky when Nucky's, about to, kill somebody is just multidimensional. It's amazing.
And he would just turn it on, man. When we'd start, he'd just be, you wouldn't even, it'd just be there, he's there, man. No preamble, no, he's just, boom, he's in, and you gotta just be, you gotta be prepared.
Yeah, I did see in an interview one time with Steve, someone was asking him, is it easy to get into that type of mode? And he said it's not easy. Like, it's especially if you don't have it in you, like, to find that sort of character. So what about for you? Do you find it as challenging to kind of get into a serious role versus doing a comedy role?
Well, comedy's hard. Comedy's not easy. It's a whole different set of muscles that you have to, work on. The comedy's not easy. I like doing both, but you have to prepare or approach both differently, kind of. But equally, you have to, equally as hard and equally as you have to work, hard, on both of them. It's not one is easier than the other, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
But character is character. So if you're doing a drama or you're doing comedy, if you have a character that you have to be in, aside from the drama or the comedy, that character has to be in place, or nothing's going to work. The drama or the comedy won't work. So to me, it's character. You have to be really rooted in your character and know who you are and be able to turn it on and off like Steve does. it's not easy to get to that point, but once he's on set, he's able to flip the switch because he's done the work prior, you know. I like doing both, and again, both of them are equally difficult and rewarding in their own right, you know. But a lot of work goes into, especially when you're playing a character like a murderer or gangster, if you've never killed anybody, you have to put yourself in that headspace,
Yeah. And for the show Boardwalk Empire, did you audition for any other parts, or was the Tanina role the only role?
Book a few times also, absolutely. I auditioned for the pilot to play Shea Wiggum's role. I wasn't
his brother, not his brother.
I wasn't right for that. So I auditioned for that. Then later on, I auditioned for Joe the Boss, Mazzaria.
Oh yeah.
Which again, Ivo Nando got that role, and he was amazing in it. I couldn't have come close to that, what he did with that role.
Yeah.
One other one, I don't remember which one. The brothers, one of the brothers from Philadelphia. In fact, Max Casella played that role.
The D'Alessio brothers.
I auditioned for one of the D'Alessio brothers. That didn't work out either.
Two Sopranos guys were brothers on there. Max was one, and then also the guy, I'm forgetting his name in Sopranos, but he was the guy that would the broker from the guys from Italy, the ones that would whack the guys in New York. So he was the guy that did the heroin with Christopher in the car.
Yes, he's very good, a very good actor. I forget his name. Yes, you're right. He was one of those brothers. And those brothers, those were real characters. They were real brothers, the D'Alessio brothers, I believe, from Philly. And, that didn't work out for whatever reason. And then, the Tonino Sandrelli role came up. And it was just perfect, and it was almost, when I talk about drama and comedy and, combining, I think Bobby and I think those two characters and some of our scenes were very comedic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes just a look I would give, behind his back would be funny,
Yeah.
But that was, we were almost like a comedy team, like Abbott and Costello or something. It was like, he would, and I would play off of him. And it was, there was a lot of comedy. And, even written into the script, I'm not saying that we created it. It was in there, There was some interesting, funny situations in there, especially when Bobby walks out with the George Washington kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, give him this look like, oh, geez, it's lunatic, just stuff like that. And his character also, and he's a funny guy too. And so his character was funny in the madness of it was funny. The madness of his character was actually funny. Going crazy because someone wished him good luck,
Yeah.
Bone Fortuna,
Yep.
Just, how someone could take someone wishing them good luck as an insult, that was the comedy of that character.
Yeah, he would snap at a moment's notice. And he had a very interesting fetish with getting choked as well. And it was kind of ironic. That's how he eventually got killed when you actually, got to seek some revenge on what he did to your cousin. That was your cousin that he was, yeah.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed, my character enjoyed, putting that knife in his back. I almost did. It took me a while to come to terms with my line. Sorry, I gotta.
Yeah.
Whatever I said.
Yep.
I had to square that within me to make that right for me. Be really sorry. I had to kill him, So I had to absorb that line and say it in a way to make it work for me, because if you think about it, I kind of wanted to kill him. So
yep.
I got, I think it worked. I kind of digested it and made it come out the way I wanted it to come out. But yeah, that line was a little difficult for me because I had to absorb it. And, because again, it really wasn't that sorry for killing him.
Yeah. What did you think of the finale of Boardwalk Empire? How it ended with Nucky getting killed by Jimmy Darmody's son.
I liked it. I thought I liked it. I was, yeah, it kind of took me by surprise. I mean, from season 4, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Until later on, and in the last season. But yeah, I thought it was a good way to do it. And poetic justice, and
Yeah.
He had to kill Nucky because he had to really confirm that was a fictitious character, even though it was based on a real character. Yeah. So I think Nucky had to die, had to be killed. Yeah. So it was a matter of how to do it, and I think that was a really inventive way to do it. I liked it. I liked the Sopranos ending too. I loved it.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to ask about that as well too. But yeah, regarding the Nucky getting killed, I mean, you kind of felt the last 2 episodes there was a passing of the torch with that next generation, with Luciano and Meyer Lansky kind of rising.
Right. Nucky's time was coming anyway. His time in the spotlight or in power was coming to an end.
Yeah.
Nucky, I think, went to jail and lived to a ripe old age. He did some time in jail.
Yeah.
That he never, and he wasn't to the level gangster that Buscemi's character was.
Yeah.
Changed the name because he wanted poetic license to mix fact with fiction. But the guy was a crook, and he was involved in a lot of shit. But I don't think he ever killed anybody or anything. Who knows? But he really was a politician down in Atlantic City.
Yeah, that scene where Meyer gets Nucky to get on his knees, and I think he said something along the lines that he was sorry, and then Meyer was like, now you know how it feels. Because he had Meyer on his knees, I think, twice with a gun pointed to his head. And that's when you knew that the party was over.
Right.
At that point.
Yes, you're right. That's absolutely.
And yeah, so yeah, definitely.
It went on another 5 seasons. I mean, I love doing Boardwalk. I could have kept that job forever, man. I didn't want it to end so quick, but.
There was some talks that they were going to turn it into a movie. There was some rumors about that. Was there any truth to that, or did you hear anything about?
I didn't hear anything about that. No. There was a project called Havana Nocturne that Terry Winter was maybe going to do based on the mob taking over the casinos in Havana. I don't know if that's still happening. It was in the preliminary stages, but it would have been a bit of a continuation of Boardwalk because it would have been Luciano, and Lansky. And a lot of those characters now, 10, 15 years later, in Havana. And that show would have ran from like 46 to 59, when the Cuban Revolution, of course, Castro threw them all out. But that project's been out there. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but maybe that has something to do with because I didn't hear anything about a movie per se. If people say, we want to see more Boardwalk, this kind of would have been a continuation of those characters, the New York characters, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen, though.
Yeah, I did see an article a couple weeks ago about Terrence Winter working on a new TV series, I believe, with Nick Pileggi.
Yes, now that's
Goodfellas.
It's with Nick Pileggi. And that's going to be, it's going to be kind of a scripted series on the history of the mob, starting in like 1905 or whatever. And do like a progression, maybe a decade and a half every season, or a decade per season or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you'll see, I guess when you hit 1930 and 40, you'll see the older versions then now of Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky and Vito Genovese and with Anastasia and all those guys when in the 30s when they kind of took power fully. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But I think Brian Grazer is attached as producer also, and I think Showtime is where it's going to happen. Yeah, that was in the article. Showtime will do it. So hopefully. We'll get a little bit of Boardwalk stuff back,
Yeah. No, that'd be great if we could see you back in a role and something with Terrence Winter. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, that would absolutely, there's a strong possibility that that could happen. Yeah, sure.